Okay, swimmers, let's clear the pool, please. Move your warm-ups to the west pool, if you would. Let's clear the competition pool. And a good morning, campers, and welcome back to the GK Freeman Aquatic Center. It's day 4 of the Minnesota Invite, and we're looking forward to prelim competition in the 200 back, 100 free, 200 breaststroke, and 200 butterfly. This would be a good time to call Grandma and Grandpa and tell them to tune in to the live stream on YouTube. You can get the link by going to the Gopher Sports website. Ready now for the 200 backstroke, heat 1. Swimming in lane 3 is Annika McEnroe of Cal. Lane 4, Brigitta Neverman of Minnesota. And lane 5, Isabella Riley of California. Pulling out a little bit at the 100, 57-1 at the halfway point is Annika McEnroe. And Annika in at 158.7, 200.11 for Isabella. And a 7-second PR for Brigitta Neverman. Heat 2. Swimming in lane 1 is Jessica Davis of Cal. Lane 2, Addie Rose Bullock of Harvard. Lane 3, from Minnesota, Katie McCarthy. Lane 5, Anya Mostek of Harvard. Lane 6, Paige Armstrong of Arizona. And lane 7, Molly Hamlin, Harvard. .50 to go. And looks like California's Jessica Davis in lane 1 in the lead, but by just a little bit. No woman in this heat is seated under 2 minutes. We're going to have a bunch, though, going under 2 minutes here. Terrific last 50 here by Molly Hamlin of Harvard over in lane 7. And she clocks a 1:58 flat. Nice time drops across the board. Heat 3. In lane 1 for Pitt is Abby Duncan. Lane 2 for Minnesota, Elizabeth Jacobs. Swimming in lane 3, Kate Haslett of Harvard. Lane 4, our number 2 seed, Claire Jensen of Pittsburgh. In lane 5 for Arizona, Mia Magdalena Hagston Skarda. And in lane 6 for Minnesota, senior co-captain Paula Rodriguez Venero. And at the 100, it's Claire and Paula turning together at 56.5. And a nice 156.26 for Claire. Kate Haslett of Harvard, 57.7. And then a pair of 157s right behind for Elizabeth and Paula of the Gophers. Heat 4. In lane 1 for Arizona, Daisy Anderson. Lane 2 for Minnesota, Faith Johnson. In lane 3 for Cal, Mia Modikaitis. In lane 4, senior for Cal, third in the Nationals last year, member of the USA national team, Isabella Stadden. Lane 5 from Arizona, Tia Lindsay. In lane 6 for the Gophers, Indy Jongman. In lane 7, her teammate Ava Yablonsky. And in lane 8 for Harvard, Lizzie Brock. And Cal's Mia Modikaitis swimming right with Isabel. Mia won the 500 here on Thursday. And of course, last night, Isabel made an A cut in the 100. Probably won't see the A cut here in the prelims. It's a 150.5. It looks like Isabel's going to position herself for a run at that tonight. And this is going to be a big time drop for Mia. Isabel in at 152.81. And Mia 153.97. Now we move on to the men's two back. He won. In lane 3 for Harvard, Nicola Hench. And in lane 4 for Cal, Humberto Dayera. Both men swimming this event for the first time this year. So no seed times here in the I Love to Swim heat. Humberto at 118.5. On track for a high 145 maybe. as predicted, 145-49. Heat 2. In lane 1 is Tavis Siebert of Cal. Lane 2, Ryan Hardy, Arizona. Lane 3, Ryan Slonick, Minnesota. Lane 5, Ziad Salim of California. Lane 6, Kai Cruz from Cal. Lane 7, Casey Stowe, Minnesota. And lane 8, Destin Lasco of Cal. Here are the qualifiers for the women's 200 backstroke, qualifying into the C final. In 22nd, Abby Duncan. 21st, Brigitta Neverman. 20th, Addie Rose Bullock. 19th, Mia Magdalena Hagston Skarda. 18th, Daisy Anderson. And 17th, Isabella Riley. Qualifying into the B final. In 16th, Faith Johnson. 16th, yes, Faith Johnson. 15, Katie McCarthy. 14, Ava Jablonski. 13, Jessica Davis. 12, Paige Armstrong. 11, Tia Lindsay. 10, Annika McEnroe. And 9, Anya Mostek. Qualifying into the A final tonight. In 8th, Molly Hamlin. 7th, Elizabeth Jacobs. 6th, Paula Rivero. 5th, Kate Haslett. 4th, Indy Jongman. 3rd, Claire Jansen. 2nd, Mia Modikaitis, and our top qualifier with a time of 152.81 from Cal, Isabel Stadden. Official time is 10:16. This event will close at 10:46. A nice 139.41. Little outside smoke there by Destin Lasco. Destin's time, number 9 in the country, sliding in just ahead of Leon Marchand. Now Heat 3. Swimming in lane 1 from Pittsburgh, Paul Laro. Lane 2, Alberto Hernandez Garcia, Minnesota. Lane 3, Jensen Nelson, Pittsburgh. Lane 4 is Colby Mefford from Cal. Lane 5, Des Sakjen of Minnesota. Lane 6, Will Myers, Arizona. 7, Eric Camden, Pittsburgh. And 8, Cameron Linder of Minnesota. Colby Mefford in lane 4 was the consolation final champion in the NCAA's last year. And he's going neck and neck with Will Myers of Arizona. And I got to back up. Colby was the consolation champion at the Pac-12. And a couple of nice 143s. Colby with the touch out. Heat 4. Swimming in lane 1, Smith Connor of Minnesota. In lane 2, Tommy Roeder of California. Lane 3, Gunnar Grant of Harvard. In lane 4, Marcin Guraj of Pitt. Lane 5 is Keaton Jones of California. Lane 6, Ian Steffen, Minnesota. Lane 7, Ian's teammate, Luke Leonidas. And in lane 8 from Pittsburgh, Drew Henry. Gunnar Grant still hanging on to the lead here. Keaton Jones of Cal in lane 5, close aboard. And back just a little bit, Marcin Guraj of Pitt. Marcin comes in with the 18th fastest time in the country right now. Actually 19th after Destin Lasco's sub 140 in the previous heats. And a pair of 141s as Gunnar and Keaton punch their ticket to the A final tonight. Our next event is the women's 100-yard freestyle. Heat 1. In lane 3, Robin Cruz Adams of Harvard. In lane 4, Stephanie Akakaboda of Cal. And in lane 5, from the University of Minnesota, Paralympian Summer Schmidt. Summer already with 2 American records to her credit this weekend. The record in this event, 55.27. And here is Stephanie, 51.09. Nice 5.5 second time drop for Stephanie. Summer 59.56. Heat 2. In lane 2 for Minnesota, Katya Sudakova. In lane 3 for Pittsburgh, Maya Genzel. In lane 4 for Harvard, Blythe Wykowiak. Lane 5 for Cal, Sydney Griskevich. Lane 6 for Pitt, Olivia Livingston. Lane 7 for Minnesota, Fiona O'Connor. And in lane 8 for Harvard, Natalie Whalen. (51-1) for Blythe. Nice morning swim, nice time drop. Heat 3. In lane 1 for Harvard, Kristen Hakanadottir. Lane 2 for Pitt, Aphrodite Agathokalias. Lane 4 for Pittsburgh, Sophie Yendel. Lane 5 for Harvard, Molly Hamlin. In lane 6 for Arizona, Alexa Pacini. Lane 7 for Cal, Daniela Cogswell. And in lane 8 for Minnesota, Anya Kaljevic. And a whole mess of 50 points. Heat 4. In this, the first of our circle seeded heats. In lane 1, Avery McFadden, Pittsburgh. Lane 3, Emily Gantris, California. Lane 4, Grace Anderson of Arizona. Lane 5, McKenna Stone, Cal. Lane 6, Hannah Cornish, Minnesota. Lane 7, Hope Fellner, Arizona. And lane 8, from Harvard, Isabella Alas. And Hannah Cornish skips the 49s altogether, 48-89. Heat 5. In lane 1, from Arizona, Amelie Mortensen. In lane 2, her teammate Miriam Shehalazadakanda. In lane 3, from Minnesota, Mina Kaljevik. Lane 4, for Cal, Eloise Riley. In lane 5, from Arizona, Elizabeth Timmer. In lane 6, from Cal, Ella Mazurek. Lane 7, from Minnesota, Morgan Thomas. And in lane 8, from Cal, Morgan Brophy. And a 48-7 for Isabel Riley, Morgan Brophy, 49-2. Now heat 6. In lane 1, from Arizona, Alyssa Schwengel. Lane 3, also Arizona, Julia Wozniak. In lane 4 is our top seed from Ball State. She was second. She's currently ranked second in the Mid-American Conference in this event, Peyton Kelly. Lane 6 from Arizona, Maddie Burke. Lane 7. We got to back up. Lane 5 from Pitt, Avery Kudlak. Lane 6, Maddie Burke of Arizona. Lane 7. Arizona, Julia Urbanowski. And lane 8, Lexi Dutcherer of Arizona. And Peyton, 49-49. Here are the qualifiers for the men's 200 backstroke. First alternate there is no first alternate. Qualifying into the C final, 24, Paul Laro. 23, Eric Camden. 22, Nicola Hench. 21, Cameron Linder. 20, Smith Connor. 19, Ian Steffen. 18, Tavis Siebert. And 17, Drew Henry. Qualifying into the B final, Casey Stowe in 16th. 15, Luke Leonidas. 14, Des Sakjen. 13, Jensen Nelson. 12, Ryan Slonek. 11, Tommy Roeder. 10, Ryan Hardy. Qualifying 9th, Humberto Nayera. Qualifying into the A final, in 8th, Marcin Goraj. 7th, Will Myers. 6, Colby Mefford. 5, Kai Cruz. 4, Ziad Salim. 3, Keaton Jones. Qualifying 2nd is Gunnar Grant. And our top qualifier with a very strong B cut of 139.41 from Cal, Destin Lasco. Official time is now 10:34, and this event will close at 11:04. Move on now to the men's 100-yard freestyle. Heat 1. Lane 1, Matthew Jensen of Cal. Lane 2, his teammate Andrew Hallett. Lane 4, Seth Miller, Arizona. 5, Josh Smith, Pitt. Lane 6, Luca Gissendoner, Cal. Lane 7, Matt McDonald, Minnesota. And lane 8, Colby Hatton of Cal. And Matthew Jensen throws down a 42.84. Heat 2. In lane 1, Nicholas Antonio, Cal. Lane 2, Jordan Smolsky of Pitt. Lane 3, Tristan Dalby of Harvard. Lane 4, Omar Abdelwahab, Minnesota. Lane 5, Trent Franzen of Cal. Lane 6, his teammate Liam Bell. And in lane 8, Michael Ryan of Pittsburgh. And this is Trent Franzen, 43.72. Heat 3. In lane 1, Tyler Hansen, Minnesota. Lane 2, Connor Groya, Minnesota. Lane 3, Robin Hansen of Cal. Lane 4, his teammate Jack Alexi. In lane 5, from Ball State, currently ranked number 2 in the Mid-American Conference, Owen Che. Lane 6, from Pitt, Krzysztof Radoszewski. Lane 7, from Harvard, Anders A-Stars. And in lane 8, from Cal, Roman Jones. And Jack Alexi takes a couple seconds off of his seed time, 41.63. Now Heat 4. Lane 1, is Harris Durham of Harvard. Lane 2, Ryan Purdy of Arizona. Lane 3, Lovro Soderovic, Minnesota. Lane 4, Stepan Goncharov, Pittsburgh. Lane 5, Dominic Toledo Sanchez of Pittsburgh. Lane 6, Miles Botai of Arizona. Lane 7, Ben Littlejohn of Harvard. And lane 8, Dylan Hawk of Cal. And Cal goes inside out here. Outside, Dylan Hawk in lane 8, 43-3. And a 43-4 for Stepan of Pitt. Heat 5. Lane 1 is Tommy Palmer, Arizona. Lane 2, Guy Frimis of Pitt. Lane 3, Davide Maria Harabagiu of Minnesota. Lane 5, Bjorn Seeliger of Cal. Lane 6, David Greeley, Harvard. Lane 7, his teammate Sonny Wang. And in lane 8, one more Crimson, Pierce Dietz. And Bjorn Seeliger cruises to a 42-6. Here are the qualifiers for the women's 100 freestyle. Our second alternate, Blythe Wicklewick. First alternate, Stephanie Akakaboda. Qualifying into the C final in 24th. Alyssa Schwengel, 23, Lexi Duxerer. 22, Hope Fellner. 21, Alexa Pagini. 20, Amelie Mortensen. 19, Julia Urbanowski. 18, Elizabeth Timmer. 17, Daniela Cogswell. Qualifying into the B final tonight in 16th, Miriam Shikhalazadinkan. Tied for 14th, Julia Wozniak and Molly Hamlin. 13th, Sophie Yendel. 12th, Avery Kudlik. 11th, Maddie Burt. 10th, Mina Kaljevic. 9th, Grace Anderson. Qualifying into the A final tonight. In 8th, Ella Mazurik. 7th, McKenna Stone. Tied for 5th, Morgan Thomas and Peyton Kelly. Qualifying 4th, Emily Gantris. 3rd, Morgan Brophy. 2nd, Hannah Cornish. And our top qualifier with a time of 48.72 from Cal, Eloise Riley. Official time is 10:42, and this event will close at 11:12. And we move on now to the 200-yard breaststroke. Here are the qualifiers for the men's 100 freestyle, qualifying into the C final in 22nd. Let's back down a little bit. First alternate is Anders Eisters. We may need a swim off here as we have a tie for 24th. That would be alternate and last place in the C final. Last position in the C final being Owen Che and Connor Groya. Tied for 22nd, Guy Frimis and Matt McDonald. Qualifying 21st, Miles Botai. 20th, Harris Durham. 19th, Christoph Radoszewski. 18th, Sonny Wang. 17th, Seth Miller. Qualifying into the B final. In 16th, Davide Maria Harabagiu. 15, Colby Hatton. 14, Lovra Serderovic. 13, Ben Littlejohn. 12, Dominic Toledo Sanchez. 11, Ryan Purdy. 10, Tommy Palmer. And 9, Trent Franzen. Qualifying into the A final. In 8th, Roman Jones. Tied for 6th, David Greeley and Stepan Goncharov. Qualifying 5th, Dylan Hawk. 4th, Robin Hansen. 3rd, Matthew Jensen. 2nd is Bjorn Seeliger. And our top qualifier, swimming a 41.63 from Cal, Jack Alexi. Time is 10:45. This event will close at 11:15. We are ready now for the women's 200 breaststroke. Heat 1. In lane 1 from Harvard is Alexandra Denisenko. Lane 2, Ava Gustafson, Minnesota. Lane 3, Caroline Kramer, Arizona. Lane 4, Jade Nesser of Cal. Lane 5, Laura Wright, Ball State. Lane 6, Maddie London of Pitt. Lane 7, Abigail Heskew of Cal. At the 100, Abigail out in a low 103. Abigail swimming on a seed time that could be best described as obsolete. Abigail looking at a shot at that 2:13.8 B cut. And there it is, 2:10.75. Nice swim for Abigail, a good strong B cut. Heat 2. In lane 1 is Harvard's Victoria Eisenhower. Lane 2 from Minnesota, Grace Drabot. Lane 3 for Pitt, Jesse Strong. In lane 4, number 2 seed from Cal, Hannah Brunzell. In lane 5 from Arizona, Eleni Gewalt. Lane 6 for Arizona, Nadia Borawi. And lane 7 from Pittsburgh, Jayla Pina. Hannah Brunzell, who's had a nice meet already, getting after it here in the first 100. Her seed time is only 0.07 of a second away from the B cut. And Hannah is out in a 101.8. And Hannah on her way to a sub 210. Mid 209 would be top 20. And a 210.94. That time is top 30. And a strong B cut. Heat 2. In lane 1 for Harvard, Victoria Eisenhower. Lane 2 for Minnesota, Grace Drabot. Lane 3 for Pitt, Jesse Strong. I'm sorry, let's back up and read the right heat this time. In Heat 3, Lane 1, Minnesota's Ava Goodnow. Lane 2 for Arizona, Maddie Alawalia. Lane 3 for Pittsburgh, Angelina Messina. Lane 4 for Arizona, Kelsey Wasikowski. Lane 5 for Cal, Alicia Henry. In lane 6 for Harvard, Stephanie Iannikani. In lane 7 for Cal, Catherine Hazel. And lane 8 for Minnesota, Ella Smith. Cal's Alicia Henry. Making her bid for a 210. And there it is, a 210.90 for Alicia. Second 214, just off the B cut. We'll get that tonight for Catherine Hazel. Now on to the men's 200 breaststroke. He won. In Heat 1, Lane 1, David Abrams of Harvard. Lane 2, Forrest Frazier of Cal. In Lane 3, Jack Ballard of Minnesota. Lane 4, Trey Mungia of Arizona. In Lane 5 is Drew Heck of Pitt. Lane 7, Arizona's Tay Bati. And Lane 8, Liam Bell of Cal. At the 100, Liam Bell out in a high 55. Arizona's Tate Bati right behind him. And a 158.2 for Liam. About 0.8 of a second off of the B cut. Probably another shot tonight. Heat 2. In this, the first of our circle seeded heats. Lane 1, Drew Kalin, Minnesota. Lane 2, Daniel Young, Arizona. Lane 3, Mitchell Oliver, Arizona. Lane 4, Jacob Soderlund, Cal. Lane 5, our number 6 seed, Neil Simpson of Minnesota. Lane 6, Javier Susana Horver of Pittsburgh. And in lane 7 from Cal, Sean Swift. And Daniel, Jacob, and Mitchell getting after it here in lanes 2, 3, and 4. Great duel here between between Mitchell and Jacob. Jacob pulling away a little bit here at the end. And there's a 156.7, low 157 for Mitchell. Heat 3. An important reminder to coaches, any time trial requests are due at the end of this event. This is heat 3 of 4, so 2 heats to go in this event before we close the opportunity to request a time trial. Once again, time trials close at the end of this event. In this event, this heat, heat 3, lane 1, Max Schreier, Minnesota. Lane 2, Brian Wong of Arizona. Lane 4, Jerry Chen of Pitt. Lane 5, Jake Hand, Arizona. And in lane 6, Jake's teammate, Tavner Wisdom. Lane 7 from Cal, Hank Rivers. And in lane 8, Drew Kistler, Minnesota. And a 50 to go. Jerry Chen in the lead, but a group of 3. Real close with 25 to go. All 3 of those are probably going to be right on the bubble for the A final. And a 157.5 for Jerry. Heat 4. In lane 1 is Aiden Biddle of Ball State. Lane 2, Alex Petty of Harvard. Lane 4, Max Matiazzi of Pittsburgh. Lane 5, Joey Garberick, Ball State. Lane 6, from Minnesota, Joe Rudd. And lane 7 is Minnesota teammate Josh Johnston. Max and Joey turning 1-2, just tenths apart. Joe Rudd of the Gophers knocking on the door and moving up maybe a little bit here. And looks like Pittsburgh's Matt Matiazzi going to take this at the flags. Joe Rudd for second. And there's a nice 158.18 for Joe. Joey, 158.67. Here are the qualifiers for the women's 200 breaststroke. Into the C final, qualifying 22nd, Ella Smith. 21st, Victoria Eisenhower. 20, Ava Goodnow. 19th, Jayla Pina. 18th, Nadia Barawi. 17th, Maddie London. Qualifying into the B final. In 16th, Maddie Alawalia. 15th, Alexandra Denisenko. 14th, Carolyn Kramer. 13th, Eleni Gewalt. 12, Kelsey Wasikowski. 11, Jade Nesser. 10, Laura Wright. 9, Stephanie Yanakani. Qualifying into the A final. In 8th, Ava Gustafson. 7th, Angelina Messina. 6th, Grace Drabot. 5th, Jessie Strong. 4, Catherine Hazel. 3, Hannah Brunzel. 2nd, Alicia Henry. And our top qualifier with a time of 2:10.75 from Cal, Abigail Herskew. And our time is 11:08. This event will close at 11:38. And we are ready now for the women's 200-yard butterfly. Heat 1. And a reminder, coaches, that the window for time trial requests has closed. The curtains are pulled and the shutters are drawn. In Heat 1, swimming in lane 3, Jill Berger. Lane 4, Megan Van Berkom. Lane 5, Daisy Anderson of Arizona. Lane 6, Ava Yablonsky, Minnesota. And the easy 157 for Megan Van Berkom. Heat 2. Swimming in lane 1 from Pittsburgh, Olivia Yu. In lane 2 for lane 2 is empty. Lane 3, Claire Reinke, Minnesota. Lane 4, Lizzie Cook, California. Lane 5, Sydney Gring, Pittsburgh. Lane 6, Sydney Liu of Harvard. And in lane 7, Sydney's teammate Grace Yoon. Lizzie Cook of Cal. Looking at a nice time drop here. And a 155.6 for Lizzie. Be a top 25 time in Division 1 this year. Heat 3. In lane 2 for Cal, Ava Chavez. Lane 3 for Cal, Rachel Kunker. In lane 4 for Arizona, Julia Heimstad. Lane 5 for Arizona, Emma Kinsey. Lane 6 for Pittsburgh, Kate Bailey. And in lane 7 for Cal, Ashlyn Fiorilli. Coming into the meet, Julia Heimstad had the 22nd best 200 fly in Division 1. Five of our swimmers in this event have already made B cuts. Go to Rachel Klinker in lane 3. Getting after it pretty good, out in 54.8. And with a 50 to go, looks like a 155 probably for Rachel. And Rachel, 154.98. Here are the qualifiers for the men's 200 breaststroke finals tonight. Our second alternate, Aiden Biddle. First alternate is Forrest Frazier. Qualifying into the C final in 24th, Jack Ballard. 23rd, David Abrams. 22nd, Drew Kistler. 21, Alex Petty. 20, Brian Wong. 19, Max Shire. 18, Drew Kalin. And 17, Daniel Young. Qualifying into the B final, 16th, Josh Johnston. 15, Neil Simpson. 14, Trey Mungia. 13, Sean Swift. 12th, Javi Zorzano Jover. 11, Tate Botti. 10, Tavner Wisdom. And 9, Hang Rivers. Qualifying into the A final in 8th, Jake Hand. 7th, Joey Gerberick. 6th, Liam Bell. 5th, Joe Rudd. 4, Jerry Chen. 3rd, Mitchell Oliver. 2nd, Max Mattiasi. And our top qualifier with a time of 156.69 from Cal, Jacob Soderlund. Time is 11:17. And this event will close at 11:47. And we move on now to the men's 200 fly. Heat 1. Swimming in lane 4, Beck Parnham. And lane 5, Orion Henderson, both of Arizona. .50 to go. And Henderson looking at probably a 146. And a pair of 147s. 1 for Henderson and 8 for Beck Parnham. Heat 2. Swimming in lane 2 from Cal, Samuel Quarles. Lane 2, William Tennyson of Arizona. In lane 3, his teammate Jaden Neighbor. In lane 4, Adam Mahler of Pitt. Lane 6, Felipe Bafico of Harvard. And lane 7, from Minnesota, Tommy McCarthy. Three 50 points on the board. And Jaden Neighbor pulling out just a little bit in that third 50. Neighbor 145.02. Heat 3. Swimming in lane 1 for Cal. He was third in this event at the NCAAs last year. Gabriel Jett. In lane 2 for Pittsburgh, Drew Jalbert. Lane 3 from Cal, Aaron Shackle. In lane 4 for Minnesota, he swam this at the Nationals last year. Only 7/10 out of scoring, Kaiser Neverman. Lane 5 from Harvard, David Schmidt. Lane 6 for Pitt, Michael Piela. And lane 7 from Ball State, Malcolm Slater. .50 to go. And Jett on track for a 142. The A cut, 140.16. It would take a big lift on the way home. And Jett 143.9. That's a B cut. Second 144.2 for David Schmidt. That's a B cut. 144.3 for Aaron Shackle. That's a B cut. And 145.83 for Kaiser Neverman. That's a B cut. Heat 4. Swimming in lane 3 for Minnesota, Grant Wadney. Lane 2 is Grant Wadney. Lane 3 is also Minnesota, William Christensen. In lane 5 for Cal, he was 4th at the NCAAs, right behind teammate Gabriel Jett, Dare Rose. In lane 7 from Ball State, Bryce Henshaw. And lane 8 from Cal, Michael McGillivray. And Rose on track for maybe a 143. Comfortable, just getting in. And at 145, 1-2. B cut. William Christensen in second, 146.61. Only 0.8 of a second off of the B cut there. Official time is 11:28. We will take a 5-minute break and we will have one time trial at 11:33. Here are the qualifiers in the women's 200 butterfly. Into the B final. In 15th, Grace Yoon. 14, Kate Bailey. 13, Jill Berger. 12, Olivia Yu. 11, Ashlyn Fiorilli. 10, Daisy Anderson. And 9, Claire Reinke. Qualifying into the A final tonight. In 8th, Sydney Liu. 7th, Emma Kinsey. 6th, Ava Chavez. 5th, Sydney Gring. 4th, Julia Heimstad. 3rd, Megan Van Berkom. 2nd, Lizzie Cook. And our top qualifier with a time of 154.98 from Cal, Rachel Klinker. The time is 11:29. And this event will close at 11:59. And now, one-time trial, a 200-yard butterfly swimming in lane 4 from Arizona, Hakan Naughton. He won. "50 seconds at the 100. The cut that we're chasing here is a 145.89. The A cut, a 140.1, which would mean he'd have to negative split. We don't see negative split very often in the 200 fly. Predicting a 143.3. And I missed it by a tenth, 143.4. And that is a strong B cut. Congratulations, Hakan.